All right, so for those of you that want to fly the O4 standard air unit on 1S batteries and only on 1S voltage, I did some additional testing. So my initial tests were just powering the O4 air unit on the battery alone without any any sort of current draw from the motors, and I was able to get it down to 3 volts, and then at 3 volts it would actually shut off completely. It will power off. Now I did some more testing, and the results of the testing depended on the quality of the battery. If the battery was like brand new and could hold its voltage even under a little bit of a load and keep its voltage above about 3.3 volts, then you would still get video, it would still transmit. And if you used a poor battery, this is one right here, it's kind of an old one here that's not very good, a little bit puffed, and using like an adapter, and there's a lot of resistance between all these different connectors. And in that case, under a little bit of a load, when the battery sinks down to like 3.4 volts, it basically goes into this kind of weird state where it'll stop transmitting and then it'll reconnect. It will start transmitting again, and then it'll stop transmitting and then start transmitting again. And you're seeing the DVR recording of that occurring. So basically it's unusable. Basically, unless you're using really good batteries and you know you're only going to fly to about 3.5, 3.4 volts with no voltage sag, then maybe you're going to be okay. But basically, for most 1S batteries and on almost any kind of 1S craft, whether it's like this little micro here or a Whoop, you're definitely going to be going below 3.3 volts pretty often, especially towards the end of the pack. So yeah, this is definitely, I think, a no-go. If you are wanting to do this on 1S. So you're probably going to need a flight controller that has a 5-volt regulator, so that it'll supply a constant 5 volts. It'll basically boost the voltage from whatever the 1S battery voltage is, 3.1 volts, whatever it is, to the constant 5 volts. And then in that case, it'll probably work. I don't have a flight controller that does that currently. I had one, but it died on me recently, so I couldn't test that for this video, unfortunately. But I think it answers your question. You're going to really need something with a 5-volt regulator. It's got to be basically above about 3.3 volts all the time. It will go below 3.3 volts to 3 volts if there's really no load on, as long as it's able to battery is able to keep that current going. If there's a load, and then especially this battery was dipping below 3.3 volts and just going to almost below 3 volts, like 2.7 something is probably what's going on. This battery is not very good. So that's what's going on here. Hopefully it clears up all those issues with 1S usage on the O4 standard.